In 1984, Michael Jordan is about to become a household name. Drafted into the NBA by the Chicago Bulls, his incredible skill, relentless drive, and iconic charisma will soon transform him into the greatest basketball player of all time. But while Jordan's star was rising, another story was quietly unfolding in his hometown of Wilmington, North Carolina. One of Jordan's high school teammates, a boy who shared the same court, the same locker room, and many of the same dreams, vanished without a trace. No headlines, no major investigations, just a young man who disappeared into the shadows, leaving behind only questions. Another unsolved mystery. For 25 years, his story was forgotten, until a pawn shop owner stumbled across a mysterious box of memorabilia. Inside, buried beneath old ticket stubs and photographs, was a high school basketball jersey. It bore the missing boy's name, and with it came a mystery that refused to stay buried. Before the legend of Michael Jordan began, he was simply Mike, a lanky teenager at Laney High School, desperate to prove himself. Jordan's drive was unmatched, but in this disciplined life, he wasn't alone. He had a soulmate. Among the teammates who stood beside him was a boy named David Holt. David wasn't the star of the team. He didn't have Jordan's explosive talent or highlight reel dunks, but he had grit and a determination that earned him quiet respect. He and Mike often stayed behind after practice. Jordan would work on his jump shot, while David chased rebounds for him. Other times, David would practice his free throws, while Mike teased him for his slow release. Off the court, David was different, reserved, thoughtful. He came from a working-class family. His father drove trucks, his mother worked long hours as a nurse. Unlike many kids, David didn't crave attention. He wanted stability, but he shared one dream with Jordan: to make it out of Wilmington and make something of himself. And in the summer of 1984, as Jordan prepared to leave for Chicago, David vanished. It was June 17th, the last day his family saw him alive. According to his parents, David said he was heading to meet a friend near an outdoor basketball court on the edge of town. He promised he wouldn't be gone long. Hours passed, then an entire night, but David never returned. The next morning, his car was found parked just 2 blocks from the court. The keys were still in the ignition. His gym bag sat untouched in the passenger seat. But David was nowhere to be found. Neighbors remembered seeing him walking that evening, wearing his practice jersey, the same one he wore to nearly every pickup game. Some said they saw him talking with another man near the court. Others swore they saw him leave alone. But after that, nothing. The boy who once dreamed of a future in basketball seemed to vanish into thin air. At first, police believed David may have simply run away. After all, he was 18, legally an adult, free to leave if he wanted to. But his parents refused to believe it. David had no money, no credit cards, no plan, and he had been excited about attending community college in the fall. Running away didn't make sense. Detectives interviewed teammates, including Michael Jordan himself. Jordan, shocked by the disappearance, admitted he hadn't spoken to David in weeks. By then, he was preparing for his rookie season with the Bulls. Posters went up across Wilmington. Friends combed the woods near the basketball court. For weeks, volunteers searched rivers and abandoned buildings. But no body, no evidence, no trace. Rumors began to swirl. Some believed David had been caught up in Wilmington's rising drug trade, a dark undercurrent in the city at the time. Others thought he might have been lured away by someone promising a shot at college basketball. One chilling rumor suggested that David had been seen climbing into a car with 2 older men, but police never confirmed the sighting. Eventually, the case went cold. His name was quietly added to the growing list of missing persons in North Carolina. And while Michael Jordan soared to stardom, David Holt's story faded into silence. Over the years, small leads flickered, then burned out. In 1989, a caller claimed to have seen David in Atlanta, working at a nightclub. When investigators arrived, the man was gone. In 1993, hunters in rural North Carolina discovered bones near a creek bed. For a moment, David's family braced themselves for the truth. But forensic testing revealed the remains belonged to someone else. In 1998, a man matching David's description was spotted at a minor league basketball game in Virginia. Witnesses swore it was him, older, heavier, but with the same posture, the same eyes. Police searched the area, but the man disappeared into the crowd. Each lead left the family more desperate and more haunted. By the early 2000s, many had given up hope of ever finding answers. Until one ordinary day in 2009, when a cardboard box appeared in a pawn shop. The shop owner, cleaning through a pile of donated goods, found a box of sports memorabilia. Inside were old ticket stubs, programs, and faded Polaroids. But at the bottom lay something unusual: a Laney High School basketball jersey. The stitching was faded, the fabric worn, but the name on the back was unmistakable: Holt. It was the same name from the missing persons posters of 1984. The shop owner, puzzled, typed it into Google, and almost immediately, he found himself staring at a decades-old case file. Within days, authorities were notified. Former teammates were called in, and when they saw the jersey, several nodded. They remembered David wearing it during their last games together. The discovery sent shockwaves through the family. After 25 years, it was the first real piece of evidence that David had left behind. But how did it end up in a pawn shop? Who kept it all these years? And why had it surfaced now? The jersey opened new lines of questioning. Some believed it was proof David hadn't simply disappeared. Perhaps he had been taken, and whoever kept the jersey wanted to erase his memory. Others wondered if David had left willingly, and the jersey was all he abandoned of his former life. There were even whispers that someone close to him, maybe even a teammate, had kept the jersey as a grim reminder of a secret too dark to share. But despite renewed attention, no further evidence emerged. No body was found, no suspects identified. For his family, the jersey was both a gift and a curse. Proof that David had once lived, once played, once dreamed, but also a painful reminder that he never came home. For Michael Jordan, who by then had become a global icon, the story struck a quieter chord. Reporters asked if he remembered his missing teammate. Jordan's response was brief: "Yeah, he was a good guy. I hope his family finds peace." But peace never came, and David Holt's story remains unsolved to this day. Some mysteries are solved with breakthroughs. Others remain frozen in time, lingering in fragments. For David Holt, all that remains is a worn jersey, a forgotten file, and a family still searching for answers. In the shadow of greatness, his story was lost. But it serves as a reminder. Behind every legend, there are those whose voices were never heard, whose dreams ended too soon. And sometimes the smallest clues, a scrap of fabric, a dusty tape, a forgotten photograph, holds secrets powerful enough to outlast decades of silence. Because some stories refuse to stay buried.